First, the decade-long battle that's cost Carolyn Thompson her home. In a bizarre twist, her property was auctioned off inside a courtroom, then purchased by an employee from the Justice Department. It's left her searching for answers.
I am frustrated. This just shouldn't be happening in Australia. I feel angry. I feel upset. So we're just stuck in a situation we can't get out of.
Carolyn Thompson has been walking in and out of courtrooms for the past 9 years in a long, exhausting battle to save her home.
This shouldn't have gone as far as it's gone. It just should never have gone as far as it's gone.
Most of the way, she's been self-represented in her case. She and husband Wayne say they couldn't afford a lawyer.
Because we didn't have money for legal representation, and it's been quite a battle for the last 9 years.
Wayne has also had a health condition that attacked his nervous system, leaving him unable to work. Carolyn now works full-time to support their teenage son and spends countless hours trying to prepare to go head-to-head with the top barristers in the country.
It's not like a lawyer. A lawyer, it's a day in the office. For me, I've got to front up and pretend like, I put my emotions on hold when all the time they're just bubbling beneath the surface, because it's actually you, it's your livelihood, it's your house that's actually on the line.
Wayne used to run a waterproofing business with Carolyn as general manager. Wayne had a dispute with a supplier called Tremco over invoices totalling $146,000, which he and Carolyn claimed were never delivered.
It's not plausible that a big international company would allow somebody that they've only approved a $3,000 credit account for to actually allow that account to blow out to $146,000.
Wayne lost a district court case over the invoice's validity and then filed for bankruptcy, expecting the family home at Pelican Waters on the Sunshine Coast to be safeguarded, as it was in Carolyn's name only. Wayne was the sole director and secretary of the company. Carolyn was only ever listed as a shareholder, but a court found she was in fact a shadow director.
I don't know in a small business that there's any way that a wife working in her husband's business can actually protect herself, because the court found that if Wayne was on site doing this work, that the only other person that could have done it was me.
Without a lawyer to help her, Carolyn fought the case to save her home in the district court and lost. A judge ruling she was liable for the business too. She appealed the decision and fought that case again without representation and also lost.
If I had been legally represented and I had somebody that knew how, or that legally was trained that could have done my documentation, then I may not have ended up in the same situation.
But the couple believe their bank, ANZ, contributed to their disastrous situation, alleging it violated anti-money laundering legislation by accepting what they claim were fraudulent documents to open an account for the business and lend it money. The couple hit ANZ with a creditor's statutory demand for $2.7 million. The bank denies their claims and has begun proceedings in the Supreme Court to have that demand set aside. Carolyn took her beef direct to ANZ Chairman David Gonski at last year's AGM.
I've been a lawyer for a long time. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I believe you are misleading the shareholders here. We're not going to be wound up by that.
The banks don't answer to anybody. There is no policeman for the banks. The government won't do anything. They're too frightened to attack the banks.
ANZ held a mortgage on Carolyn's home with $1 million now owing thanks to the failed business loans added on too. Tremco's court victory gave it an enforcement warrant to sell the property. But that auction didn't happen at the house, instead taking place inside a courtroom here at Maroochydore.
I don't understand why it was done in a courtroom. I just don't get it.
Carolyn accuses Maroochydore court officers of not following procedures correctly and says she pleaded with them to stop the auction.
The law expects me to go into court and be honest and own up to something I've done wrong. The court is under exactly the same obligation.
She was told she needed to apply for another hearing to fight that allegation back in the Supreme Court.
We're just a file number. We're literally just a file number. They have no empathy or they don't care about how we're treated.
The auction of her home took place inside the Maroochydore courthouse back in January, producing yet another devastating blow.
What was it like seeing your home auctioned in a courtroom?
It's heartbreaking. But the worst part about it is I then find that the person who's bought it works for the Department of Justice and Attorney General, which is the same department that runs the courts.
There's no suggestion of any impropriety by the buyer, who was one of 15 registered bidders on the day. A spokesperson for the Department of Justice and Attorney General said,
"The department has not identified any conflicts of interest arising through this process. The auction gives effect to the court's order and appropriate processes appear to have been followed. Ms Thompson had an opportunity to challenge the court orders in this matter and did so unsuccessfully."
Carolyn is still fighting ANZ's proceedings in the Supreme Court.
How do you find the strength to keep fighting?
I never knew I had it, but when you're confronted with this, and it's, if I had just not paid a debt, then that's fine, that house can go, but that's not what's happened here.
All the time I keep saying to Carolyn, we're getting to the pointy end, we're getting there, but it doesn't come. Sorry.
An ANZ spokesperson said in a statement,
Ms Thompson has made multiple complaints to the Australian Financial Complaints Authority and other independent bodies. Where these external reviews have been finalised, they have all found in the bank's favour.
We just can't get out of where we are until someone decides to let us out. And it's only ANZ that can let us out.
ANZ says it also made offers as assistance to Carolyn over many years, but they've all been rejected. That case is back in the Supreme Court in October.